Oh. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, have we started? Oh, boy. My goodness. I think we're all here. Yep, okay. There we go. Let me just fix up my microphone here a little bit. All right. Oh. Hold on. I need to do something real quick, guys. Okay. Oh, nope. Not today, Junior. There we go. Okay, sorry about that. All right. Let's just wait a minute here to see if we can get some people to come in. If you haven't already, guys, and if you wouldn't mind, why don't you share or retweet this video stream on Facebook or Twitter or wherever so we can get a lot of people in here, because we're going to do an xStation installation tutorial live in real time. No fancy edits, no special tricks other than the ones I'm going to teach you. But let's see if we can get a few more people in here. All right. Scotty Blousey. Hi from Scotland. Hi, Scotty. Hi. Sorry about that, Scotty. All right. Here we go. Everybody, I hope everyone's doing a good job. I just want to, in life, I just want to say that I'm not going to be really talking a lot and engaging the chat, because I really want to do a good, solid, instructional video today on the good old-fashioned xStation install. First of all, how is the stream quality? Is everything pretty decent? Everything looking good? Do we have good frame rate? No frame drops? Is the quality visually okay? And is the sound okay? That's also very important. Oh, God. All right. So, good. Everything looks good. Everything looks good. Everything looks good. Sound is clear. Wonderful. Okay. So, who here has installed an xStation, which is this little kit right here, into a PlayStation, just out of curiosity? Just curious to see. Oh, thank you so much for the follow. Thank you very much. Thank you. Okay, so a couple of people here have. Now, I'm going to be showing some tools that we've used in the past. This is an indispensable tool when it comes to lifting those pins from that quad flat pack, as we have to intercept writes and reads from the bus so the xStation can work properly. Just a good old-fashioned dental pick. I'll show you some excellent insertion techniques here that will make lifting these pins a breeze. Are we ready to get started? Should we wait a few more minutes, or should we get started? I'll let the chat decide. That's one to say, let's go. Are we ready to go? All over Bob's face. Let's get started. So what we're going to do is we're just going to take this bad boy apart. Very easy. Now, I might not get all of this in frame. It's not really important. I'm sure most of you know how to disassemble a PS1. I'll try my best to get everything visualized here. We're just going to start by removing the 6 screws. 6 screws hold the top shell in place. And Sony, in their infinite wisdom, were kind enough to create these little arrow annotations to show you just where the screws go. In case you forget, hard to mess this up. Alright, let's just go down the line here. Alright, I think that's all of them. We'll just remove and evacuate this little unit. Here we have it. Alright. Top comes off just like that. Perfect. Now we're going to remove the CD laser assembly. Guys, by the way, is the MP3 music in the background too loud? I need to know. before we get started. Is the music balance okay? I'm going to de-energize that power supply. And I'm just going to decouple the power supply and the controller memory card modules from the main board. You can hardly hear it? Okay, good. Good, that's the point. It's supposed to be very subtle in the background. Okay, now we're going to remove the top shielding from this, this is a PU18, from this 5500 main, PS1 mainboard. So let's just remove that top shield from this 5000 series. Once again, you have these little beautiful arrows that tell you exactly where things are supposed to go. It's amazing. Alright, one more screw here, and we will totally decoupled the shield here. Now we're done with the screwdriver. We're just going to very carefully, what I like to do is I like to come in here on the corner. I like to come right here on the corner, and I'll start on the corner, and I'll just gently, very gently, take my finger and sort of prise upward. Just like that. Let me make sure I got all the screws. I do. Okay, so I'm going to come right in here, or you can come to this corner, it doesn't matter, and just grab one corner. Work with the corner. Don't come in here. You see people, they'll come in here, and they'll just take it, and they'll just... Bad idea. Bad idea. You need to finesse this shield out. So once you get a corner liberated, you need to come down here or down here. I usually grab one of the CD-ROM standoffs. I just gently rock it forward like that. It comes off just like that. Okay. The motherboard is exposed. Now we can leave this RF shielding in place. No reason to really remove it, unless we were doing a PS1 digital install. You can remove it if you want to. I'm not going to. It's not really important. But there are 5 or 6 screws here that we have to remove. So right here on the parallel port, I'm just going to zip them out. Just like that. And I'll just take my hands, and very sensually, I will just remove them. Okay. Not a big deal so far, guys. Super easy. Super easy. Now, just take the motherboard, lift it out. Take this. Don't need this around at the moment. ATM, otherwise ass to mouth. Ask Bob about that. All right. Here's the main board. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually flip this over. Actually, I'm not going to do that yet. What I'm going to do is I'm going to flip this bad boy over on the bottom side, and we're going to do the easy part first. The easy part will be installing the QSB, which lives approximately in this position on the main board. Now, I'm going to zoom in really tight, and we're going to talk about that because there's really 2 main things that we need to worry about when installing the QSB. And if you do these 2 little steps, and you do just a little bit of prep work necessary, this procedure goes very, very, very fast and quickly. So let's just take the camera, and I'm just going to drop it down so I can get a nice macro penis pumping shot. Okay, so here we have our QSB. And I'm just going to very loosely line things up here. That's pretty good. Now, we're going to zoom in really tight. Oh, tight, Daddy! Ooh! That's pretty good. Now, what we're going to have to do here is we're going to have to contend with some lacquer and some solder resist. As you can see right here, that's pretty good alignment. But we have a via here that it's tinted. A tinted via means that the solder resist from the factory has been pulled over so that the copper plug isn't exposed. Now what we're going to have to do in this instance is we're going to just have to take a Sharpie, anything like that. Not a Sharpie, an X-Acto knife. I don't know why I said Sharpie. Take an X-Acto knife, remove the solder resist from this via, and if we move all the way over here, let me sort of get this in line again. I kind of made a boo-boo. That's pretty good, that's pretty good, that's pretty good. Okay, and if we come right here, right there, right there. Okay, this via right here, we're also going to have to clear it too to make sure we get a nice mechanical bond of solder between our QSB, this castellated edge here, that's what this is, and our via. So we need to remove that solder mask. How do we do that? Very simple. Now I've got a pretty darn good... First of all, is that in focus and is that zoomed in enough? Before we really get started on this, I just want to know, is that zoomed in enough? Yes and yes. Okay, looks great. So what we're going to do... Now, just for... That's my fingernail. I don't know if you guys can really see this, but to put this to scale... Oh shit, do I have anything here to kind of put this to scale? Okay, here's something. That's a CR2032 battery, if that provides any sort of scale to you. We're talking about micro rework here. There's no doubt about it. Super precision, super delicacy, super finesse, and total concentration is required to do this. You can do it. You just got to work on your fine motor skills. Now, what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to come right into here, right into position just like this. Okay? And I'm going to hold my X-Acto knife, that's all this is. It's just an X-Acto knife with a pretty dull blade. But I'm going to hold the blade almost parallel. I'm not going to be digging in like that. I'm going to hold the blade parallel to our little via here, right? And I'm going to take it in this parallel sort of orientation. I'm going to start removing. I want to start removing just like this. Now watch this. Check this out. Nice and parallel against the board, nice and centered. And we're just going to start removing. Nice, even circular little motions here. And that solder resist is just going to come right off, and it's going to expose all of that juicy, sexualized copper. Just like that, nice and easy, nice and easy. Now that's pretty darn good. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a little alcohol. I'm just going to spritz the site just a little bit. Sort of clean the debris off. And then you don't have to do what I'm about to do. I just like it because it's a finishing touch, and it just further ensures a nice, clean substrate. Oh my goodness. Thank you so much for the subscription. Happy Shaz. God bless you. Good to see you again, by the way. Hope the family's doing well. I want to take a fiberglass pen, and I'm just going to go over the surface very loosely and very quickly. And now we have a super nice, clean and exposed via, so our QSB will have no problem going down. Great. Now what we're going to do is we're just going to come over here to the other side. And just to sort of illustrate this, to show you guys what I'm talking about a little more clearly. There's that via. There's the via, and there's the QSB. You guys understand why that's so important now? You're going to have a really nice connection out, and your solder is going to have no trouble wicking and wetting in the appropriate areas. Now we're going to come right back over here, and we've got to contend with this little jewel. So we're going to remove our QSB. Same principles before. We're going to take our X-Acto knife, and we're going to hold it almost parallel to the board. And we're just going to come right in here. Nice, small, very, very, very subtle, yet deliberate movements. Now watch this. I'm just going to go around the via. No microscope here. No microscope here. I'm just doing it by feel. As the great Dracon once said of Canadian hot glue fame, I do not use a multimeter. I do everything by feel. Jesus. Okay, nice, smooth, and deliberate circular motions, just like this. Okay, that's pretty good. We got a nice cleaned via just like that. Now what I'm going to do, we're going to take our alcohol. Where am I? Where the hell am I? Oh, here I am, sorry. Take our alcohol there and do a nice little spritzing. And you see we have a few little nicks in here still yet. What we can do is we can just take our fiberglass pen, and look at that. Perfect. Perfect. Absolutely nothing to do. Nothing else to do there. Now what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to keep this zoomed in like this. We're going to talk about aligning the QSB. Now the QSB, it's not the easiest thing, but it's not the most difficult thing to really get aligned. And before you really get started, what you have to understand is that these little QSBs, which are these little printed circuit boards here, they're not printed with absolute perfect to the thousandth precision, so they're not always going to be spot on and dead perfect. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with a corner. Now I'll zoom in a little bit here so we can sort of get a complete idea. I want to start out here in a corner. Right up here is just fine. Right down here is just fine. You can start over here. As a matter of fact, why don't we just start over here? I'm going to start by picking a spot. I'm going to pick right here in this bottom corner, right where my index finger is. I'm just going to move that into position to where it's an approximate proper placement. Now, with that in place, I want to come over here and I'm going to hold this down with my finger, and I'm just going to pivot this up just a little bit. Now, my alignment looks pretty good there. Keep in mind, you're never going to get this perfect. Okay, alignment looks good all through here. Alignment looks good all through here. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to zoom in, and I'm going to begin scrutinizing my alignment a little more clearly, because I've got it pretty much in where I want it to be, but I want to dial it in with a little bit more detail and precision. So here we go. Now our alignment here, as you can see, everything looks pretty gosh darn good. I want to come right over here I want to take a look at everything that we've got going on right here. It's pretty good. It needs to come over, oh, just a bit. Let's see, let me just move that over like so. Now that's pretty good, but let's see how much this has affected our alignment up here. We're still in pretty good shape. I would like to bring this over just a bit like that. Okay, now that might be just as good as we're going to get it there. Now this is going to be probably spaced out a bit, which it is. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab the bottom, make sure we've got decent alignment there. We've got some alignment issues here. I'll leave that gap there. That's totally fine. I can work with that later. Okay, now we're going to come over here. Alignment looks fantastic. And alignment looks okay. And alignment looks okay. So having looked at all of this, what I'm going to do is I'm not going to start by soldering everything up. What I'm going to do is, I'm going to bring that in just a bit. I'm going to take, and I don't have a free hand, I forgot to do this. But before you do any soldering, go ahead and take whatever tip that you're using and do a nice, oh Lord, I might have to realign this, but take your tip and do a nice preload of solder. A nice, generous preload. See, I've got a nice, generous ball there of solder. So what I'm going to do, this isn't going to be pretty. We're just going to tag this in. Just going to tag it in like that. It's not meant to be pretty. It's meant to be ugly as fuck. It's tagged in. This frees up my hand. So I'll have about 10 to 15 degrees of rotation. Now watch. What do I mean by that? Well, watch this. I can come in here and I can make some nice subtle adjustments, and I have just a little bit of pivot I have just a few degrees of pivoting rotation. And now I'm going to just take a look at everything, and everything still looks a-okay. Everything looks good here. Everything looks good here. It's never going to be perfect. Just do your best to get it as close as you can. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come right in here. Okay, I'm going to come right in here. I'm going to take that same tip, and this time I still have a little solder left on that tip. I'm just going to come right in here. I'm going to apply some flux. Thank you for the host, Soul Reaper. Thank you very much. We've got a tip, and we've got a little bit left here, and I'm just going to tag in this end. So we're going to go to the opposite side, and we're going to tag this in. It's not meant to be pretty. It's not meant to be pretty. Now we can totally let this go. Everything's let go. I mean, we've totally let go. We can now just, without touching it, without manipulating it, let's just look around. Great. 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 Everything looks perfectly fine. How are we doing up here? Perfect. Okay, so now with this being in place, and we've got a pretty good, it'll never be perfect. I gotta keep saying that, guys. Believe me. These boards will never, with precision at any rate, line up. Just get them really close. I'm gonna make a little thing here so I can sort of skip the light off this so it doesn't sheen. That's not too bad. I think we can do a little better. Let me do this. Oh, Daddy, I'm coming for you tonight. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Okay, you're never going to get them perfect. Just get them really close. This is totally acceptable, and it's very close. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to start putting some love juices in various parts of the board here. And we're going to start soldering this up. So I'm going to come right down here to this joint, and I've got my tip right here. Okay, watch this. Count to 2, 1, 1,000, 2, 1,000. Nice joint. Let's come up here and clean this one up. Beautiful. Okay, let's just keep going. Let's come over here. All these little vias here and all these little castellated edges. Let's just go ahead and sweep them up. Clean everything up nicely. Just like that. Okay, let's fill these vias up with some good fresh solder juices. Just like that. Great wetting, great mounds, beautiful fillets, no cold joints. Always inspect your joints as you're soldering. The shine of your joint is a really good indicator of how healthy your joint is. Perfect. We're going to move right on over here. And I'm just going to take a bunch of solder. Notice I have this big blob. I have a huge blob, and I'm just floating across all of these joints. They're just densely packed here, no problem. You can do that. It's of no consequence if you do that. Just be careful. Okay, we're going to come right over here. Oh, I'm sorry, we forgot this one way up here. Look at this little jewel. Come right up in here. Just like that. Perfect. Perfect. Okay. Now we're going to come right in here. We have some joints here that we need to address and sort of take care of. Clean off my tip. I'll clean that up in just a second. Just a few more little drops of flux here and there. I'm going to come right in here with the edge of my tip, and I'm just going to feed my solder right through there, and watch this. Nice little contact. Beautiful bulb. We'll clean this up just like that. Make contact here with this joint on this castellated edge. Nice, round, bulbous joint. That's what you're looking for. Nice and uniformly round. Okay? Okay, now here, this is where we separate the men from the boys, so to speak. Oh my goodness, thank you for the cheers. God bless you. Okay, so I want to come right in here. I'm just going to line this up just a bit with my eyes, and still, it's a little bit off. Oh, let me move my soldering iron here. It's just a little bit off, but that's okay. That is perfectly within soldering range. Do not worry about that. Not a big deal. You're going to run into that. Okay, so here we go. 1, 2, 3. Okay, just like that. Nice joint. And we'll finish it off right here with this joint. Nice, beautiful, round mound. And our final via here that we had to clean up and prep. Always spend just a couple more seconds on your joint holding when you're doing these vias, just to make sure you get that nice bond. So I want to come right in here. I'm going to do just that. I'm going to do 1 1,000, 2 1,000, and I'm going to lift. Just like that. Beautifully filled. Nothing more we can do there. Okay, there we have it. Just reviewing everything, all the joints that we've made here. Fantastic, looks great. Looks great. Looks great. I hope the quality and I hope the zoom and focus and everything like that is acceptable here, because I'm really trying to just show all this off. That looks dirty. So here's a good thing to talk about. Here's something of value to discuss. You'll see a joint like this, and you'll think, oh, that's a cold joint, or that's a poorly wetted joint. Now what you have here, and this is the problem, when you load up your tip with solder, when you load that tip, thank you very much, Trainer of Shadows, for your subscription for 11 months. That was really nice. When you load up your tip with solder, if you wait a bit, that tip and that solder is going to oxidize rapidly, and the burnt or caramelized flux that's in either your flux system, in your solder, or that's been exposed to the elements, you're going to get this nice little black varnish. And this is not a bad joint. I'll show you. This is just caramelized and scorched flux. It's harmless. Where's my brush? If you'll watch, just spraying it with IPA is 90% of it. Perfectly fine joint. So when you see joints that are discolored, make sure it's not spent or caramelized flux that's just oxidized and exposed on the joint, and not an actual bad joint. I see that a whole lot. Okay, so all our joints here look pretty good. We're in good shape. Alright, there's just one thing here left to do, and that is to connect the phase lock loop connector right in here. And there's just a resistor here by the clock, because we pull the clock out of circuit. Where's my clock? Right here. 221, that's 220. One tenth spot, that's a 220 ohm resistor that we have to remove. If that said 222, that would be 2.2K. If that said 223, that would be 22,000K. Okay, let's see. Okay, so you don't need a hot air workstation to remove surface mount capacitors, especially when they're 0805 in size. Just take some fresh solder, just like this, and just take it and just literally float, whoops, if I could see, float the part right off the board. Not a big deal. Need to come in here, we need to tin this little pad up though. Nice and tinned up, okay. And we're just going to get a little conductor here. I think I've got some scrap. Oh, let's see. Do I have any scrap? Let me see. I have something in the floor. Ooh. Is that going to be long enough? Okay, so here's just a scrap. Just a scrap piece that I found in the floor. Not a big deal. Actually, one end of it is already tinned up here, so that's great. Or actually, it's not tinned up, so what I'm going to do is I want to take this little end here that needs some tinning. I'll try to do this on camera. Some real quick tinning. Pre-tinning your conductors is extremely important. So I want to come right in here, tin that up just like so. Beautiful. Now you see that nice tin on the conductor where you don't see the weave or the braided little individual strands anymore. That's what you're after. I'm going to cut that down now. I'm going to cut that down considerably, and I'm going to bring this right in here like this. Here's my conductor. Now here's where we make magic. Everybody clip this shit. Clip it, bitch. Here we go. Macho Nacho, thank you. Can't wait to install my xStation. Picking up some great tips here. Keep up the awesome work. Thank you so much for your donation, Macho Nacho, and God bless. Okay, so here we have it. Here's another thing. Conductor length. When you cut a conductor to length, when you're getting ready to expose or to connect it to another joint, rule of thumb is never make your conductor length any longer than the actual size of the pad. Now, if you'll notice here, the length of our conductor is approximately the same as the little open-faced pad here that we're going to be soldering to. That's very important. I talked about this a lot when I was doing a lot of Game Boy GBA consolizer installs, because I would see a lot of people incorrectly use what we call rainbow wire, and they would make these big, nasty, terrible joints, and it just looked bad. Anywho, and it's not good for the board. It puts a lot of structural strain on these little vias and these little pads. They were never designed to hold that kind of surface tension. Here we go. Watch this. Ready? Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Watch this. Watch this. Oh, beautiful. That's just what Daddy was looking for, bitch. Oh, sorry, did I say that out loud? Ooh. Oh. Okay, but at any rate, beautiful joint. Let's just move this on over. Right in here, right in here, right in here. There's our pad. Okay. No need to swear. Are you talking to me, some guy? I have to tell you. I'll say this as kindly as I can. There's a lot of goddamn swearing that goes on here, so if you don't like that, maybe you should find somebody else to watch respectfully, because I do like to certainly say a lot of vulgar things. Screwed up my first PS1 digital install, but on the audio chip. Thanks for all the vids that gave me the brass ball. Hey, you know what? Thank you so much for your super chat. And you know what? Guys, I'm sorry I'm going to have to strip this off camera. Well, maybe not. I'll do this so you guys can see this in frame. Thank you so much. And you know what? Keep at it. We all screw up things. I screw up things. Everybody does. But unless you don't take a lesson from your screw-ups, you're not growing as a person or as a man. Or as a human. All right. I don't understand people who come into streams and they immediately, you know, it's like you come into somebody's house and you're like, please don't swear. It's like, this isn't your domain. This is my stream. I appreciate your criticisms. Well, no, I really don't. I'm not going to lie about it, but listen, I am not your slave, and you are not my master. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Just like that. You're not paying for this content. Just like that. Now look at that beautiful round mound. That's perfect surface tension. Okay? Perfect. Perfect surface tension. That's what you're after. QSB is done. The only thing left here, of course, is just to pull the little FFC connector out. Remember, the blue tab is always up, and we're just going to go ahead and insert our little FFC. Now we're just going to lock it down. You can use your fingers, or I'll use just, because I like this shot so much, I'll just use this, here, tweezers. Just like that. Beautiful. Nice and locked down. All set. Now, let's turn this baby around. Zoom out. Okay, perfect. Now, we're ready to do some pin lifting. Now, here's what we're going to do. I'm going to lift this back. Here's the chip in question. This is the 2545. This is the CD signal processor. Oh, sorry, I had to stretch. Okay. This is the chip that we're going to be working with. Now, I'm going to go ahead and get this in position. And I want to get a good angle on this. I want to sort of pitch the board up. As you can see in this camera, I'm pitching it up. So you get a really nice tight shot of everything that's going on downtown. And I'm just going to do a little work here. Give me just a second, because it's important that I sort of illustrate this to the best of my ability. Okay, that's pretty good. Now I want to zoom right down into this. Okay. Position this up. Oh, that's pretty good. Okay, that's a pretty good zoomed shot, I would say. Let's let the camera calm down for a second. Now, can you guys see this okay? Is this clear? Is it in focus? Do I need to zoom in any more? And just for scale, oh boy, let's see, what did I do with it? Perfect, good shot. Let me see if I can just get a little more. Let me see, Jeff, if I can just get a little more. That's pretty good. Okay, I think that's pretty much where I want to keep this. And I think the lighting is pretty good here. I think this is pretty legible. Okay. Now, you've got two options, really, if you want to lift these. You can use an X-Acto knife, or you can use this, or you can use an X-Acto knife, or you can use this dental pick. I want to first demonstrate an X-Acto knife. Now, there's absolutely nothing wrong with using an X-Acto knife to do this, but the problem is, just by the nature of it being an X-Acto knife and a thin blade, you're going to have to exercise a lot of lateral force, which means that when this pin, when you're lifting it out of circuit, it's not going to come straight up like this. It's actually going to shift to the right and then up. Not a terribly big deal, but it can be difficult to work with. So let's see, we've got to do pins 80, 78, 77, 74, 56, so on and so on. We'll start with pin 80, and I'll just demonstrate once just using an X-Acto knife. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring my tip in here just like this. I'm not going to make contact with the leg. I'm not making contact with the leg. I'm making contact with the pad. Now go ahead and get your tool in position before you do anything. So here you can see that the tool is very carefully in position. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put heat on the pad, not on the pin. If you do it on the pin, you're going to be fighting yourself because it's just physics. You want to heat the pad. So we're going to come in here with the tip, and we're going to start heating that pad, and it's going to be very quick. Watch. Pad's heated. We're going to come right in here. We're going to lift straight up, just like that. But as you can see, it lifted no problem. But we had to exert a lot of lateral force, so the pin it's become askewed, and it's shifted to the right. So now what you're going to have to do, if you care about keeping and preserving these pins, you're just going to have to sort of come in here and kind of very gently orient it back in correct order. We're just going to lift them out of circuit for now, but that's the X-Acto knife. Now, was that fairly good instruction? Do you guys understand the X-Acto knife? I just want to know before we really get going. Was that okay? I just want to know. Just tell me. Just tell me. Pretty good? Okay, now, the next tool we're going to be talking about is our good old-fashioned dental pick. Now, I like this one a lot more because it's just easier. It's easier to manipulate and deal with these pins. Now, we're going to be doing pins 78 and 77. Okay, I had to look. I had to make sure. So, here's the dental pick. Same principle, only the dental pick really lets you you don't have to exert so much lateral force. So, here we go. We're going to go to pin 78. We did pin 80, so that's 80, 79, 78 right here. Now I'm going to start by just wedging my little sweet pick right in between these pins, and I'm going to bring my little unit right in here. That's what Bob says to his wife every night. We're going to bring the little unit, we're going to heat this pad, and you'll see the heat rise up. We're going to get under here, and watch this. We're just going to lift straight up just like that. It's out. It looks like it's still soldered, but it's not. Now we're going to take our pin, and we're just going to get under it, and watch this. Just like this. We're under the pad, and we're just going to lift straight up to the heavens. Ah. Thank you, Zim's Lounge, for subbing. Just like that. Okay? Not a big deal. Now we're going to come right in here to pin 77. Same deal. Position your tool in between the pins, or position your tool behind the pin that you need to lift, and use the adjacent pin to sort of provide a little support. And we're going to come right in here like this. Right in here like this. Watch this. Watch the heat. Watch the heat. Beat my heat. Ready? We're going to put the heat right on top of this. Now watch. It's just like butter. It's just like butter. And if you're really good, you don't have to remove the tool. You can do it all in one failed swoop. Failed swoop. Just like that. Now, failed swoop. How hilarious. Now, if you don't like the way some of these pads turn out, they look kind of grungy, no big deal. Take your pin, or take your tip, and just come right in here and reflow these. Just rework these. See? There's nothing wrong with these. Nothing wrong at all. We got a little solar splash there. I'll just take my finger. Watch this. Here's my finger. See my finger? Watch this. I can't see. I can't see, Daddy. Take your finger, just sort of come in there. Clean that right off. No big deal. Okay. So that's 80, 78, 77. Let's see, we have 74. So let's just count on down to 74. Okay. So the last one was 77. 77, 76, 75, and 74. Right here. Once again, take your tool, put it in position before you ever bring heat to your to the site. Bring heat to the site. Watch the heat run up the pin. Just like this. Now watch this. Get under it. That's all you got to do. Just get under it. That's all it takes. You can come on the other side if you want to. Just like this. Get right under it. It's free. It's totally liberated. All you have to do... Oh, that pin's a little loose. We'll have to... Might have nudged that one. We'll have to bring that one back. But we're just going to get right under this pin and watch this. To the heavens it goes. Oh, wait, sorry. Oh, just like that. A little lateral force on that one too, but that's okay. It's in great shape. Now that pin right there, let's see if we can move this pin. Yeah, see that pin's loose. So we might have knocked that pin just a little bit, but that's okay. Let me show you how to fix that. You're just going to come right in here, and this happens all the time. Just like that. Fixed, bitches. Fixed. Okay, it's 80, 78, 77, and 74. Now we've got that lifted up and we're ready to go. Now I think we need to do pin, was it 56? Yes, pin 56. So we come all the way to this end. We're going to take our tool. We're going to count. 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, and 56 is right in here. Okay, get your heat in place, just like this. Heat runs up the pad, just like that. Get under it and lift, and watch this. Just like that. Just like that. Come right under it. After you liberate the pin, just come right under it like that, and watch this. Just lift straight up. You don't have to use the tool. You can actually use your finger, just come in there, but I want to preserve these pins because the customer asked me to. So I'm just going to come right in here, and I'm just going to get under it. I can't really see very well what I'm doing at the moment. I'm going to get right under it just like that. I think I'm under it. I can't see. The damn camera's in my way. I'm just going to take my finger and sort of gently pull up just like that. Whoops, sorry about that, guys. I'm going to move it back to the left just a bit. I'm trying to do this so you guys can see this. It's very difficult. Watch this. Just move it over, move it over, move it over, move it over. That's good. Perfect. Perfect. No problem. No worries. I want to come right under it, and I'm going to just clean up that pad because I know no one sees it, nobody cares, but I care. So there's the pad cleaned up. I want to clean that pin up a little bit too. It got a little gnarly. Perfect. No problem. Lifted pin. Okay. That's pin 56. Now we need to rotate this board around, and it might get a little blurry here. Let's see. Where's my finger? My finger's right. Oh, that's my finger. Okay, come down here. Okay. All right, let's see. Do we need to sort of figure out... See, this, I don't understand this side. That's okay, this will work. Let's see, we're going to do pins 47, 46, and 45. So we're going to come right in here with our tool once again. 47, 46, and 45. And we're just going to count down. Whoops. Sorry, I'm trying to move it so I can see. Okay. 47, 46, and 45. Same deal. Now this pin here on the far end is 50. We'll start here. 50, 49, 48, 47's right here. No worries. I'll show you guys some cool little tricks here. Come right in here. Apply heat only to the pad. Wait just a moment. And... uh-oh. Hold on. Sorry, I changed the timer on my... My iron went asleep. Sorry about that. I was messing with my Kescher settings earlier. Okay, sorry about that. There we go. 50, 49, 48, and 47. Okay, just get your tool in place first. That's the key part. And the second key part is just applying heat to the pad. Now see the heat run up the pad? You're halfway home when you see that. Now just lift up straight like that. You got it. Just like that. I'm just going to take this. I'm going to sort of bend it back into form. I'm going to lift this one straight up. Well, not straight up, but I'm just going to move it so that we get it right in there. And there's a little piece of solder still hanging on for dear life. I'm going to clean that off. There we go. Perfect. I don't want that little solder burr to get stuck under the chip. And you're just going to take your tool once you've liberated the pin from the pad. And like I said, you just get right under it like this. And you just lift straight up. That's it. Okay, now we need to do pins, let's see, 50, 49, that's 47. Let's see, so we got to do 46 and 45. I always have to look, I always double check these. Okay, so here we go. Apply heat to the pad, watch the heat, watch the pad take the heat, and you just lift up. Just like that. I'll go ahead and do all of these real quick. I know that one's a little skewed, but that's okay. That's not a problem. We're going to get under this pad. Watch. See? See the tip? See the tip? That's it. All right. Now we're going to take my tool and I'm going to straighten these out just a bit. Okay. There's that one. That one's ready to go. That one's ready to go. All right, let's lift these babies right up to the heavens. Look at that. Beautiful. Beautiful. Excellent. I'm trying to get a sort of an isometric view so you guys can see the actual lifting. But can you guys see that okay? I mean, can you clearly tell that they're lifted and they're reasonably straight still? Now what I'm going to do, you don't have to do this. But if you want to insulate the pins, you can take just a little bit of Kapton tape, and I'll do just a bit here. Okay? And you can just take this Kapton tape. Where's my finger? Right here? You can take this Kapton tape. Now you can see these 3 pins that we've thoroughly isolated. Just, if you really want to be super, super safe, just take some Kapton tape. Now watch this. You're just going to take it, and you're just going to slide it under, just like that. That's all it takes. That's all it takes, if you really want to be super careful. I don't necessarily think this is important. I think that just by lifting them, you're probably going to be okay, but the fact of the matter is, you just don't know who's going to be in here. So what I'm going to do is probably cut this a little shorter. And I'm going to use my tweezers. Oh, thank you so much. Yellow robes have gone $30. Oh man, yellow robes. Can someone else said something about a yellow robe? Can you explain to me? Somebody explain to me what the significance of this yellow robe is in me. I honestly don't know. I just don't have any idea. Well, I thought I had a good pair of tweezers here. I don't think I do. I'll try to do this by hand, via hand relief. I don't know if I'll be able to, but I've cut a nice little square. See this nice little square of Kapton tape? Just take your hand and sort of just lay it in position. And then what you can do is you can just come right in here and you can just sort of work it in and sort of just get it under there. That's really the goal. Only make sure you've got the sticky side. It flipped on me. Make sure you've got the sticky side down. Let me cut that a little thinner. There we go. Perfect. Okay. Sticky side down. Just sort of lay it down like that. I'll bring my tool in here if you really want to insulate these. Or if the customer specifically asks for that, you can just bring it in there like that. I think it flipped on me again. Son of a bitch, it did. Okay. Grab your Kapton tape. There we have it. And just sort of get it in position like that, that's perfectly fine. Just like that. Take another tool. I'll use this X-Acto knife here. Now watch this. We're just going to tack this in position. So I'm going to grab this side. Put it down just like that. Just like that. Put it nice and flat to the board. And we'll just stamp it. Want to stamp it with something. Just like that. Perfect. There's your little bit of insulation. If you're super worried about it, again, I wouldn't be. I really wouldn't be. It's not that big of a deal. So we're not going to do that to the other side because I don't think it's super necessary. I'm just showing you that you can do it. And as a matter of fact, I'm just going to take this off. But if you want to insulate these pins for whatever reason, you can. You can insulate them. Just very carefully come in here and remove this exposed Krapton. Just like that. Okay, so that is just the pin lifting process. Now we've got some nice, clean lifts. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Right over here. We'll straighten these out just a bit. Okay, let me look real quick. Let me sort of fold this down so I can take a look. I'm going to clean up, actually, what I'm going to do is I also like to clean up the little solder burrs if they're on there. Oh, hey, Ryan, good to see you. Robocock, well, you missed it. I did it earlier, Ryan. Now, Ryan, goddammit, you're in the middle of my shot. Son of a bitch. All right. Clean up that solder burr. Clean up that solder burr. Just like that. Perfect. Okay, good shape. Perfect. Lifted and ready to go. That's the pin lifting process. Are there any questions about that? I really kind of slowed down and I didn't lift these super fast because I really wanted to show you intimately how you lift these without causing any damage. I like that. I like that song. But ultimately, guys, that's it. That's all there is to that. Got a little solder splash there I want to clean up. Always make sure you sort of look over that too. Like I'm going to come in here with just a bit of IPA. And you can see it right there next to the reference designator IC701. There's just a bit of splash. So I'm just going to come in here and see if I can't work that out without marking anything up there. And it's a little stuck on there. So what I'm going to do is just take my tweezers and watch this. Just lightly go over it. Comes right off. Not a big deal. Just like that. In good form. Perfect. Okay? That's it. That's all there is to that. So we're ready to put this back together and to give it a test. We'll update the firmware and we'll test it out. Oh, God. Oh! Thank you very much for the follow. Interesting screen name that I'm sure is a bot. Okay. So we're just going to put this back into position like so. Nice and easy. Fits right in there, just like that, just like a guava. We'll go ahead and we'll anchor down the screws. I'm going to do this a bit off camera because it's so hard, guys. You guys, I'm trying to do all the soldering, but I have to look around this camera. It's really tough. So let me sort of just do this off camera a bit if you don't mind. Let me just jam these in there. That's what a real man would want to do anyways. What do you know about being a real man? What? Why do you say that to me? Somebody asked me, and I talked about this earlier. I just want to mention this. Here's a good tip. Clip this. If you have all these golden screws, first of all, none of these golden screws go in the outside. These are all interior screws because they're zinc plated. Secondly, I don't know exactly what the proper place is for a lot of these screws. Well, here's what you do. Look at your main board. Okay, if you don't know if a screw goes in there or not, take a look at your main board. Now, do you see all these screws that we've already put in here? Notice that there's an arrow next to the the screw boss. That means a screw goes there. Screw goes there, 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 screw does not go there. Keep that in mind. Another fun little trick for you, so you know where to put these damn screws. Let me come off camera, guys, and do this. Okay? Hope that's a helpful little tip. Okay. That's all back in place. Now, the only thing we have to do here, really, is attach the top shielding, which is right over here. Feed this through. Okay. Now don't be slamming this thing down. Just go in the corners. So you have these little nubs here. Finesse it in. Finesse it in. Finesse it in. Okay? That's all there is to that. Okay, I'm sort of just moving everything around here, getting my screws oriented, guys. Okay, now I'm going to drive these screws in now. And same principle, you see the little arrow? That's where a screw goes. Screw will naturally go in here. Let's see, there's an arrow down here. Well, I don't know if there's no, there's not an arrow down. There's not an arrow down here, but a screw does go in here. Okay, just like that. Final screw is right here, and there is an arrow. Or maybe, you know what, there is an arrow over here, maybe. I don't know. Yep, there is an arrow. I'm sorry, excuse me. Yep, right there. Okay? Very easy. Okay. That's all put back together. I'm going to shake it out. Alright, we'll connect the power supply, and we'll connect the memory card / controller module right here. And let's see, we need the xStation, and I need the little plastic standoff that it comes with. Now this is very simple. Okay, I like to use 2 standoffs, I don't use the third one. So the xStation mounts just like this, but we need to put some support on this side. So I have 2 standoffs here that's going to help us do that. So real quick, standoff goes in there. Standoff goes in there. Perfect. Now we're going to go ahead and preform our ribbon cable, which is very simple. It's going to come here. I'll do a nice soft 90, about right here. Okay? Not going to push it down too hard. No reason for that. And this sort of just comes back and retracts, and it lives like that. Very simple. So we're going to go ahead and put this together. Okay, nice and easy. Now make sure your ribbon cable is in there nice and flush. Don't leave it like this, where one side is in more than the other. Put it in there nice and evenly. Nice and evenly. That's super important. Nice and evenly. Just like that, okay? So here we go. Just like that. Perfect. No problems. Everything's reconnected. We're going to take the top. Oh! I'm going to sort of do this a bit off camera. Top just goes right back on like that. Flip this upside down, and you know what we're going to do? We're going to go ahead and put all the screws back in. Why aren't you going to test it first? I'm not going to test it because I don't need to. I'm goddamn voltage. I wrote the book on most of this shit, and I know when something's going to work or not. I don't even use a multimeter. I design electronics by feel. I also troubleshoot them by feel too. Now to test this, I'll be using a RetroTink 5X prototype coupled with a Sega Genesis component cable issued to me by HD Retrovision. I missed a screw here. Let me see what I did. Oh, let's see. What did I do with that damn screw? I blame Bob for this. Did I drop it? Maybe I did drop it. Let's see. Is it down here? Oh, let me stand up. Where did you go, Screwy? Well, son of a biscuit eater, where did that screw go? Let's see. Oh. Well, son of a bitch. What did I do with that screw? Well, it's here somewhere. Oh, wait. Ah, damn it. It's under there. I'll get it in a minute. That's a big hustle. Hassle. At any rate, we'll be using HD Retrovision Sega Genesis cables with the Sega or the Sony PlayStation adapter, which can be purchased from Ryan of Castlemania Lames. Now I want to go ahead and connect this, okay? But I'm also going to connect power, like this. Okay, now we're ready to test this thing. All right. Thank you. Thank you very much, Sensato. Okay. Let's move over to the game testing facility. Oh, wait. Need to do one more thing. I need to come in here, and I need to update this unit with the brand new firmware. I do this for all my customers. I'm going to put the new firmware in here so that when they get it, most likely they'll be ready to go without having to issue any updates. Okay. Let's move over to the game testing facility. Scene, Unitarian. Here we have it. Now, I don't know what the settings are currently. Let's just get it going. Turn this on. Here we go. Let's test it. Now, if you see digital noise, that's because of the Tink. I've got some beta stuff in here I'm working on, so if it gets a little flashy, that's because of the hardware here. It's not because of the PlayStation. Okay, here we go. Let's do it. Oh, yeah. Okay, so the game, well, clearly everything's booting fine. Let's do a hard reset on this so that we can get back to the, we can get to the xStation's menu, sort of, I guess what you would call its bootloader, and we're going to update the firmware, and then we're going to test it. There we go. Okay, so we're gonna hit triangle right down here. Update firmware. Hit start. It takes about, I guess, 20 seconds. So we're gonna do this. But the xStation is pretty simple, as you can see. It's not that bad if you just use some common sense and you're patient. It's easy. Easier said than done. Easy if you know it, hard if you don't. If you have some sort of, second guessing when it comes to your soldering ability, maybe you should hold off on this mod until you get a little bit more experience. Potbelly Punch, thank you very much. I don't do any PS3 work anymore. I gave that game up about 10 years ago. Thank you though for your super chat. But if you're questioning your own abilities and your skill set as far as soldering is concerned, try some other projects first until you really sort of get some good fine pitch experience. I wouldn't recommend cutting your teeth on something like this just for the experience. Go get an old junk printed circuit board, like an old computer motherboard, and start manipulating the pins on those little chips that you'll see in most of those. And, do that. Oh my God, here we go. Oh, sweet Jesus, sweet love juices. I got an idea. Let's restart this bad boy. You guys want to see some really cool Retro Tink 5X stuff? Would you guys like to see the motion adaptive deinterlacer that works beautifully? Remember, don't mind the little noise that you see in the picture, the digital horizontal barrings. Okay, so here's the Retro Tink 5X. Now I want to show you a game. This is Tobal 2. Tobal 2 is completely interlaced 480i only. Gooch, I can't wait. Yeah, Shmups is terrible for that. I can't wait to complain on some forum after seeing what the 5X can do. I'm so in agreement with you. Okay, let's see if I can remember these button combinations. Well, that's not it. Okay. Output res, 1080p. Here we go. Motion adaptive. Well, we're going to go through a few of these. I'm just going to set the stage up here. Okay, so here we go. Now this is a motion adaptive. Look how beautiful this is in all seriousness. Now this is interlaced output. This is de-interlaced output, I should say. This is a 480i title, and it's the PlayStation and PlayStation 2 ring out. I wanted to reset the match here. The PlayStation 2 is 90% 480i content, 480i output in its video games. in its video game library, not in its video games. So, this is something that, other than the FrameMeister and now the GBS control, we've not had a good deinterlacing option. Let's move over to something that everyone's used to. This is what the OSSC does, a simple Bob deinterlacer. Now if you look at the letters and if you look at everything and you look at the text, it looks like the screen's having a seizure. It's because it's Bob deinterlacing. It's just the nature of this algorithm. This is just how it handles odd and even frames. And if you have an OSSC, this is what you're getting currently. Now, it's not bad, but if you play it for any length of time, it's going to give you a migraine. At least it does for me. Quite frankly, I can't even use my OSSC with interlaced content because it's just fucking horrible. Okay, but here's not that the OSSC is horrible. Let me sort of qualify that. Bob deinterlacing is just It's not a problem with the OSSC. It's just what it can do. I love the OSSC, but let's move back to a motion adaptive. Now look at that. Look at that. Oh, I still got it. Do the flip. But at any rate, motion adaptive deinterlacing, the RetroTink is going to change the game as far as PlayStation 2 is concerned from a stock form. You can get really, really low lag performance out of the motion adaptive deinterlacer that's offered by Mike Chi's RetroTink 5X. Also, I don't have Chrono Cross here, but Chrono Cross will absolutely... Well, do you guys want to see this fact? Do you guys want to see the 480i and the 480, or the interlaced to progressive transitions where there's absolutely no frame dropping? That's another thing that the RetroTink 5X does, at the expense of just a fraction of a frame, or I think up to half a frame. If your TV, some TVs won't. Let me just qualify that. A lot of displays won't drop out with the way that video is being negotiated as it is. But some televisions and some capture cards might still drop out when you're changing from an interlaced output to a progressive output. Well, there's a triple buffer now at the expense of a fraction of a frame will get you seamless resolution mode switching without dropping frames. Would you guys like to see that? Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to open this, I'm going to take this card out, and I'm going to come over here and I'm just going to install this card into my penis. I mean, no, that's not what I meant to say. I'm going to put this in my computer and I'm going to transfer over a Chrono Cross image. I think I have one here. Okay, let's see if I have one. Yep, I do, right here. Where's this at? Okay, desktop. Give me just a second, guys. This will take just a moment. Let me just get comfortable. Oh, God, I'm gonna whack it tonight. Okay. Give me just a moment. I'll be right with you. I'm going to put these on. I'm putting this image onto the card so that I can show you guys what's up. This will take just about, let's see, this will take a couple of minutes. This will take about 3 minutes. So we'll sit here and we'll talk about it. But, the Chrono Cross in the speed world, in the speedrunning community, is notorious simply because when you access the game menu, that's an interlaced video mode. And it's just breaking when it comes to streaming. Because you break from the video game's main penis pump and you go into a vaginal discharge situation where you have a lot of clitoral problems. And so the RetroTink 5X is really going to address that because it's made for people such as Liza Minnelli. And I think it's going to be great. Almost there. Oh, we are there. Okay, I think we're done. I think we've completed this mission. I'm taking it out. I'm taking it out. I'm putting it in. I'm putting it in. I heard a rumor. It's been alleged. I just want to say this. Somebody clip this. Can somebody tell me? Okay, somebody clip this. It was alleged. I heard that Bob was arrested. Allegedly, Bob was arrested at Walmart. Do any of you guys know why? Well, according to what I've been told, Bob overheard that Walmart was going to have little boys' underwear half off. Anyways, let's reset the PlayStation and let's see Chrono Cross. Oh, Lord. Okay. Oh, boy. I'm going to get a letter for that one. Okay, let's see if we can get to the main menu here. I think we can. But, anyways, seriously, games like Chrono Cross, I think Symphony of the Night, games that have menus which are using an interlaced video mode, a lot of the equipment we've had since 2000. Uh-oh, none of your business. MemCard Pro Video Win. Oh, I will be talking about that very, very, very soon. I played with it a little bit. 8-Bit Mods has created an amazing memory card that uses an SD technology, and it also has Wi-Fi capabilities. If you're like me, if you've got 40 hours in Chrono Cross and you want to preserve that save digitally on your computer, the Memory Card Pro for the PlayStation is the best tool you can use, period. It lets you back those up to an SD card, and it lets you preserve them. You can manipulate these saves. You can load them back onto the SD card. It's great. 8bitmods.co.uk. Okay, now the game's not showing up, and I don't know why. Oh, I know why. You have to go to Options, and you have to go to Refresh Game List. Now, there it is. Chrono Cross Disc 1. We're going to load it up. Now, we have triple buffering on. And so here we go. Everyone's seen this. Here we are. Do a new game. Okay. Now, I got a question. I always get this mixed up here. And so, for some reason, I do something retarded, and I don't know what it is. How do I... Oh, never mind. I figured it out. Okay, sorry about that. Confirm. Okay. Now watch this. This is Chrono Cross. I want to get to the main game. And this is a game speedrunners love, but unfortunately the crux is that resolution switching. It ruins the streaming, it ruins the entire goddamn process. So one of my people, do me a favor, go to one of my admins on both Twitch and YouTube. Go to 8-Bit Mods and link and paste in the Memory Card Plus for people, or Pro, excuse me. But anywho, we'll get through this real quick. Now check this out. Okay, we're moving around, right? Whoops. Okay, running around, everything's great. This is a progressive output. Now watch this. No frame drops. Watch. Boom. Wait, wrong button. Boom. Amazing. Don't worry about the glitches. That's my fault. That has nothing to do with anything but my setup right now. Okay? We'll get out of the menu. Boom. In the menu. Boom. Out of the menu. Boom. In the menu. Boom. Interlace to progressive, progressive to interlace. Somebody clip this. Interlace to progressive, progressive to interlace. It's amazing. Now, we're going to turn off triple buffering. Okay, I'm going to come right in here, and I'm going to show you what some equipment, including the including the data path, will do. Now, triple buffer, like I said, there's a fraction of a frame of latency involved, but if we go to frame lock, now this is what's going to happen on some equipment. Now, you're going to get back to the menu. Now, watch this. Drops out for a split second. You're going to come out. It's going to drop for a split second. You're going to go into it. It's going to drop for a split second. Not all equipment will do this. You might not even have to use the triple buffer. Even if you don't use the triple buffer, like you use frame lock, the OSSC is not nearly as fast as the RetroTink 5X when it comes to resolution switching. It's just not. It's the way that the OSSC. It's the way that the RetroTink 5X is negotiating the different parameters between interlaced and progressive outputs. So even if you don't use the triple buffer, there's a good chance that you won't even need it anyways, because you'll have a seamless, no dropout resolution transition. But of course, if you turn this on, we'll go back to triple buffer. Now watch this. Seamless. No dropouts. So any interlaced to progressive transition, regardless of the game, is not going to be a problem with the RetroTink 5X. That's just the way it is. Okay, now you got some other options here, obviously. You can change the interlacing algorithm. You know, all the same kind of stuff. You got scan line options. Oh, if we go to output, you've got 1080p underscan, and you've got 1080p overscan. Overscan treats it like 1200p. It treats it like 1200p, and it just cuts off the top and bottom several rows of pixels. Oops, I hit the wrong button. Sorry about that. And you've got 1200p, which is just straight at 1200p. And then here's something really fun. You've got 2560 by 1440p. Unofficially supported as far as I'm aware. I don't think this is something that's going to ship with it necessarily. This is an experimental mode that sort of violates the chips, and it puts an extra bit of stress, and it sort of has to overclock these chips in order for it to work. But you've got 2560 by 1440p as a possible option. But don't buy it for that. Just don't buy it for that, trust me. As far as things are concerned, I consider the RetroTink 5X to be pretty goddamn close to endgame. It has remote support, so you can use... As a matter of fact, I think you can even use the OSSC's remote to control and manipulate all the options. We're pretty much... We are getting into the mature territory of video processors. Now, like the OSSC is a great tool, the FrameMeister, for its time 10 years ago, was okay. The RetroTink 5X is, as far as I'm concerned, a mature product for the 21st century man. Oh, and of course, you know, with the OSSC, another thing we have to discuss. Let me just switch this back to 1080 fill. Let me put it to 1080 fill. That's just going to stretch and scale the image and do some interpolation. I'm going to put it back on under. But what you can do, sampling. You can dial things in. You can dial the OSSC in to be a little bit faster and to have pixel perfection. It's a lot of manual adjustments. With the RetroTink 5X, you don't have to do any of that. You just select the base resolution, which I think is 320. I don't know. Well, this is an interlay. This is a interlace menu. But you just come in here, and you've got several options. You've got Nintendo resolutions, which this is also a PC Engine resolution. You've got various Genesis resolutions. You've got some other. There's a lot more that are going to be added here. But you don't have to go through all that pixel perfection, phase dialing, back porch adjusting. The RetroTink 5X can do all of that for you. I'm pretty sure this is a 320 game. And the RetroTink 5X does SCART input, it does component video input, it does S-video input, and it does composite video input. It does them all. I want to set this back to generic 4x3 because that's what I personally like. And you can change the interpolation algorithm too. Anywho, that's it. That's all I have for you guys. I hope this video was good. I hope everyone had a good time. I hope everyone had fun. I hope this was informative, ultimately. Thanks so much for coming. Anything you'd like me to see in the future, let me know. I hope that you guys, those of you who want to do an xStation install and have pretty good skills, I hope this helps. I hope this helps. And I hope the little RetroTink 5X demo was informative too. At any rate, thank you. God bless. I hope everyone stays safe. We're going to get through this together. And I'm going to masturbate now, so I've got to go. Until next time.